So you have taken 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there rumors going around regarding vaccination?
Yeah, it is like people are saying Pfizer is better because it was tested, and some are saying don't get vaccinated now because it was not tested and all that.
I mean, the efficacy rates are different. It is not, first of all, many people say the, have you learned about how drugs are administered, how drugs are tested?
No, sir.
Yeah, so you haven't learned about how drugs are tested, no? Fine. So it is not regarding like Pfizer is having 95% efficacy rate, and that efficacy rate is something different, not as like you have 95% in 100 people, 95 people will not get corona, and the 5 people may get. That is not the interpretation of 95%. It's something different. Doesn't say anything about whether you will get coronavirus or not. It's a
Yes, there was
statistical
a
term.
video on YouTube about it, like how they test vaccines, and I saw this there.
So you saw this there. So did you understand that?
Yes, yes. It's like half of them are vaccinated and half are not.
Exactly. Half of them are given, there is a drug group and there is a placebo group, right?
Yes, yes.
I mean, if you are, I mean, this is one of the good opportunities to get information on a few things. I guess coronavirus has taught many people many things. Acha. Let us start with where we ended in the last class. That we ended on the melting points and boiling points, right? Melting points and boiling points. So in melting points and boiling point, the main idea is what? In both of them, that is the melting point and boiling point, is directly dependent on what? Attractive interactions. Attractive interaction between molecules. Okay, between molecules. And the interaction, that is, if we see any kind of haloalkanes or haloarenes, for example, let us take CH3, CH2, CH2, and chlorine. So as you know, this chlorine is what? Chlorine is electronegative. It will attract electrons and it will get a delta negative charge. The others will get delta positive and so on. So as you can see, there can be a dipole moment like this. This is delta positive, this is delta negative. This is a dipole moment. This is the positive end, this is the positive end, this is the negative end of the dipole moment. And similarly, another molecule of what we have, 1, 2, 3. 3 means what? Prop, and it is chloropropane. So another molecule of chloropropane will have a dipole moment like this. If we have CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl, and here there is delta negative, and similarly there will be delta positive, and here it will be delta positive, and here it will be delta positive. I hope you remember the inductive effect class. Okay, it will be like this. So as you can see, this is the positive end, this is the negative end. They both will have what? Attractive interaction. Correct? Attractive. Yes, attractive interactions. And this is the reason why molecules hold each other, and they are either in the liquid phase, so they will have melting points, so they will have boiling points, and if they are in solid state, they will have melting points. So these type of interaction, this is dipole, this is dipole. Okay, so this interaction is what? Dipole interaction, right? Dipole interaction. Okay, dipole interaction. And dipole interaction, they increases. How do they increase? Now if I write melting points and boiling points is directly proportional to dipole interaction. Dipole interaction. So as you know, what is can somebody tell me the formula for dipole? What is the formula for you have learned dipole moment in physics class, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance.
Separated by a distance. Do you remember the formula?
2A. Yeah. Distance is
Q
2a.
into distance is 2a. No. The dipole moment, exact dipole moment is written as mu net, and it is equal to Q into d, QD. You remember this
Yes.
formula Q? So Q is what? This is charge. And this is what? Distance, right? So charge and distance. As you know, if I increase the number of carbon atoms, the distance will increase. Since the charge is going to remain same because it is the charge difference between positive and negative end is due to inductive effect in each of those particular haloalkanes. But as we increase the number of carbon atoms, the distance increases, and if the distance increases, this mu net increases, and hence dipole-dipole interaction also increases. And I can say this is directly proportional to what? That is directly proportional to, I will write molecular weight, molecular mass. Molecular mass. Okay, this is one point. So I can also say now we have got the order also. Order we got, if I say molecular mass, this will be R F will have the least melting boiling points. Then it will be followed by RCl, chloro alkyl chlorides, and after that there will be alkyl bromides, and at last the highest what molecular mass is of iodine, and hence Ri, that is iodoalkenes. Okay, this is one of the points that we have written. The next order for branching. For branching, what did we say? What happens to molecular melting points and boiling points when there is branching? It increases or decreases? Check your notes. Melting point and boiling point decreases on increase in branching. Right? Is in branching. Why? As you can see, no, this is also dependent on the concept of distance only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we have Cl. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now, if I make an isomer, that is, what do? I take one of the carbon atoms and I branch it out. 1, 2, 3. There is how many carbons? So there will be 4 carbon atoms here and Cl. And this is CH3 here, and this is CH3 here. As you can see, in both of them, there is how many carbon atoms? There are 5 carbon atoms. Here also there are 5 carbon atoms. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are also 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How many hydrogen atoms are there? Hydrogen there is 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. FC5, H11, and there is Cl. Here also there will be H11 and Cl. But as you can see, the distance, where is the greater distance here? In normal pentane. And this is what? This is isochloropentane. As you saw, when we went from normal to iso, what happened? We increased the branching, and as branching increased, the distance decreased, and distance decreased, hence dipole-dipole interaction decreased, and when dipole-dipole interaction decreased, the melting points and boiling points also decreased. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let us do a question. Okay, I wanted you to do a question, hence that is why I gave you a recap. You have to arrange the following. Arrange the following in increasing order of increasing. This upward arrow means increasing order of boiling point. So first of all, you have 1 chloropropane, 1 chloropropane. Then next you have isopropyl chloride. B, and after that you have 1 chlorobutane. C. Okay, so first of all, write this question, and below each of the names, draw their structure. Okay, and after that you rank them. So when you are ranking them, what you have to see, the first criteria that you will see is the molecular weight. Okay, so if you can differentiate between molecular weight, then it's fine. Okay, rank it off. But if you have two molecules in which the molecular weight is same, then you will next go to the second criteria, that is of branching. Okay, so if molecular weight increases, boiling point increases, and if branching increases, then you will say boiling point decreases. Okay, start doing it. How much time will you need? Sanya, tell me.
2 minutes.
1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. 1 minute given. Okay, Sanya has given the answer. I'm waiting for others. Yeah, 15 seconds more. Mariam, Amalia, I'm waiting for your answers. Let me start by making the structures. Okay, 1 chloropropane. That means we have 3 carbons atom here, and on the first carbon atom we have chlorine. So let me make first of all CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. Isopropyl chloride. Isopropyl chloride. This isopropyl means what? How many carbon atoms there are? How many carbon atoms? Yes, Sanya, in isopropyl chloride, how many carbon atoms will be there?
4.
4?
3.
3 or 4.
3, right? In isopropyl chloride, there will be 3 carbon atoms. So you will have, and it is in iso. So this will be CH3, CH, CH3, and iso means you will have a chlorine here. Chlorine here, and the last one is 1 chlorobutane, and in 1 chlorobutane, how many carbon atoms? 4 carbon atoms. CH3, CH2, 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 and Cl. So what? Tell me, what will be the molecular weight of all of them? Okay, rank them in the order of molecular weight first of all. Don't tell me how much. So which one is having the highest molecular weight? Tell me. In A, B, C.
C.
C will have the highest molecular weight.
Yes.
Okay, so as of now, C is great. C has the highest molecular weight. If I choose the criteria, wait a second, let me write it here. Wait a second. Now what we are doing, we are seeing just the criteria of molecular weight. And if I see the criteria for molecular weight, I can say that C is having the highest melting point, as this will be greatest. And after that, what I will do, I will say A and B are equal as of now. As of now, for this criteria of molecular weight, C has the highest boiling point. Now, when I come to the next criteria, that is of branching, because we have now a tie between A and B. As we can see, where is more branching, in A or B?
B.
Which has a branch?
B.
B has a branch, right? So if B has a branch, its boiling point will be lower. So I will say C has the greatest boiling point. After that, we have A, and the least boiling point is of
B.
B. Okay, get it now? Sanya and Mariam, I guess both of you did You, yeah, both of them gave the same answer. What about Amalya? Amalya, did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. You can note it, everyone. Then I will move on. No, yes, anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now another question. Okay. First of all, now you know how to do it, right? First of all, from molecular weight, and after that with branching. Okay. Now don't just remember that. Just remember that here what we are seeing only the carbon atoms because there is only one chlorine group. If the chlorine group increases, then the molecular weight also will increase. Okay. Just keep that in mind. So in the next question is in this you have bromoform. Bromoform. Okay, let me write it like this. Bromoform is A, and after that you have bromomethane. Bromomethane, that is B. Next you have chloromethane. That is C. And after that you have dibromomethane. Dibromomethane, that is D. Okay. Now, does anyone here not recognizes any one of the compounds? Or can you draw the structures for all of the compounds? Dibromo.
Bromoform.
Yeah, bromoforms are will write only BR.
Bromoform, you will write only BR. Okay. Do you know about chloroform?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know about what is the structure for chloroform?
No.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So in chloroform, what do we have? In chloroform, we have 3 chlorine atoms. Okay. 3 chlorine atoms. Anywhere, if you see, for example, CH, Cl3, it is chloroform. Okay. CHI3, it is iodoform. Okay. So what will be bromoform?
CHBr.
CHBr3.
Price.
Br twice. Okay. Now tell me what will be bromomethane? Okay, you have got 3. Okay, fine. Wait a second. You have got 3. So Amalya, tell me what will be the bromomethane? How can I write bromomethane?
CH3 BR.
BR. Very good. Sanya, tell me about chloromethane. C. Sanya, I am audible, right?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
For chloromethane, tell me for chloromethane.
CH3Cl.
CH3Cl. Mariam, do you tell me about dibromomethane?
CH.
CH.
CH2.
2.
Cl2. I mean BR2.
BR2. Okay. Now you tell me which one will be having the highest molecular weight. First of all, Amalya, you choose one of them, which will be having highest molecular weight.
Bromomethane.
Which one? A, B, or C, D? Tell me one.
B.
You are saying B. Okay, fine. Let us write it here. This is for Amalya. Okay. What about Mariam?
Sir, I think CHBr thrice.
Okay, this is for Mariam. What about Sanya?
There's C.
C.
Yes.
Are you saying C? Okay, I guess she said C. Okay, now first of all, Amalia, you tell me, what do you think? In here we have 4 atoms: carbon, hydrogen, bromine, and chlorine. Okay, what do you think? Which has the highest molecular weight of all of them? CH, Br, and Cl. Amalia?
CL.
Cl is having highest. So if Cl is having the highest, then why didn't you say about this one? Because this has Br, this has Cl. Okay, fair. Just remember this point. Just remember this point. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Okay, this is the sequence. In this order, what increases the molecular weight? Molecular weight increases in this order. Okay, so as you can see, the most important atom for us is what? The most important atom for us is the that is the halogen atom. So halogen atom, how many are there? Br, 3 are there. So this will be the highest molecular weight will be of bromoform. And after that, we will have CH2, Br2, D. And after that, we will have A, that is B. Sorry, bromomethane, that was told by Amalia. And after that, we will have chloromethane, that is C. Okay. You have to know the periodic table. You have to know the periodic table. Okay. At least you understand about these terms: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. These are just 4 in sequence: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. You can remember this like it like this. Okay. Mariam, do you remember the mnemonic?
Sir, phone kal bihari ishq pyar hai.
That is, oh God, that is for electronegativity.
Oh,
And that has FON. I mean, you are just messing things up. And after that, we have Cl. And this was in 11th standard.
yes.
I told mnemonics of about, I guess, all the groups, na?
Yes, yes. You taught us all.
Yeah, I taught you all. Okay, fine. Don't you remember
I do some of them.
some of them? What about this one? After this, we have AT. Okay, so if you want to remember it, you can remember it like this. First class biryani in Australia.
So what is
First
80?
Astatine.
Okay.
Astatine usually doesn't involve in organic chemistry, but for the sequence, you have to remember all of them. Na? First class biryani in Australia. So remember it like this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Let us now move on to next one, that is solubility. Okay, solubility. And in solubility, do you remember the criteria for solubility, the rule of thumb? If I ask you, will this compound dissolve in particular compound, what you will say? What is that rule of thumb? The rule of thumb is
Sir, what
like,
is it?
No.
dissolves,
dissolves like.
dissolves like. Okay, and it is just like friendship. It is just like friendship. So for example, in a particular group, what I'm saying now, we have AA. Okay, AA, all are AA, and they have a good bonding. The intermolecular bonds here, now they are good. Between interpersonal bonds, they are good. Now there comes a new student in 11th standard, and if he or she is having good energy, obviously he will be or she will be welcomed in the group. But if it does not have the energy matching with the existing group, he will not be dissolved very nicely. So here also, what do we have? That particular likeness is what? That likeness I told you, that likeness is of what? That likeness should be of the intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces. So as you know that, as we know, we have just saw that haloalkanes haloalkanes. And this solubility, what we study in 11th and 12th standard, is only for solubility in water. Okay, we don't involve us in some other solvents. We just look about for the solubility in water. Haloalkanes and haloarenes. Haloarenes are what? Are polar. Are polar molecules. Okay. Now what about what this and have what and have dipole interaction. And in dipole interaction, if they have dipole interaction, therefore these are slightly soluble in water. Why they are slightly soluble in water? Because water has what H2O has. H2O has hydrogen bonding. It has what? Hydrogen bonding. And this hydrogen bonding is very, very good. Hydrogen bonding is more attractive interaction than dipole. So what is happening here, if you want an analogy, then you have a very good friendship as a group which is existing. A new person comes, but he's not very, or she's not very off-putting. I mean, he's likable kind of thing, but you will not make him or her a part of group. You can individually, if he asks for notes, you will give, okay, fine, take the notes, but you will not let him or her sit in the canteen. I mean, you will not force him to just go out. If he comes, you will not ask him to come. So that kind of interaction is going on with water and haloalkanes and haloarenes, because this haloalkane and haloarenes have some kind of interaction that is attractive interaction, that is dipole interaction. But the existing H2O is having hydrogen bonding, which have greater magnitude of attractive interaction. Okay, just note this point of solubility in water, and we will jump to SN1 and SN2. Raise your hand when you are done. So one last point that you can write here is haloalkanes and haloarenes are soluble in non-polar organic solvents.
Sir, how do we find if it is non-polar?
Non-polar, for example, CH3, and increase the number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, CH3. So this is what N-hexane. Do you think will there be any delta positive, delta negative charge? All the atoms are same, carbon and hydrogen. All of them have similar electronegativity. And if there is similar electronegativity, there will be no pushing or pulling of electrons. If no pushing or pulling of electron is there, that means it is non-polar. Dipole moment does not exist. Hence it is non-polar. Okay, non-polar.
So H2O is what?
H2O is the polar, no? H2O is the polar, as you know, that hydrogen has low electronegativity. H2O is very polar. Here we will be having delta negative and there will be delta positive, and so much polar that it is having a kind of ionic interaction, but lesser than ionic interaction. That is called hydrogen bonding. And this O will be having now another H2O molecule. is like this: delta negative, delta positive, delta positive. So now this is the orientation. This is the orientation. Okay. You want to see how H2O molecules they assemble. Whether yes or no, fast, please.
What's it?
Do you want to know how the H2O molecules they assemble?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wait a second. Let me introduce a new share. Okay. Okay. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but wait a second. Background color. Let me do it black. Okay, now this is better. So what I am doing, I'm just randomly putting H2O molecules. Okay. As you can see, they are far apart. I just hope it does not crash. Okay. Now what I will do, I will optimize it in such a way, if in real life, how they will be assembled. They will not be so much far apart. Okay. Now, if I keep on doing this, as you can see how these are assembling.
Yes,
And can you see that yellow dotted lines?
Yeah.
Those are hydrogen bonding. As you can see, H and O, delta positive, delta negative,
Okay.
right? And if I want, I can show you like this also. Let me increase the number of steps. As you can see, I mean, it is still happening, but the change is not so much now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now you understand how these start to assemble. Okay, now I'm
Yes.
closing it. Now when we will reach alcohol and phenols and ethers, oops, let me see if it is saved. Alcohol, phenol and ethers, then I will show you the simulation if I put alcohols in water also. Okay, in that particular window, I will put alcohols and water, same, all the same things. Okay, I guess all of you have written. Mariam, done writing?
Yes, finished.
Now what we will do, we will look at nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay, let me first give an overview of that. That is nucleophilic substitution reactions. Nucleophilic substitution reactions. So there are two terms which is defining it. Okay, there are two terms which is defining it. The first one is what? Nucleophilic. Second one is substitution, and then is that is the name of reaction. So obviously there will be an involvement of a nucleophile. Mariam, do you remember nucleophile?
Yes, sir. Nucleus loving species.
Nucleus loving. Okay, yeah. Nucleus loving, and hence they are what? Electron rich or electron deficient?
They are electron rich.
They are electron rich. Very good. So what do? We represent these particular nucleophiles as Nu, and they will be having electron lone pair electrons. Okay, lone pair electrons, and we usually also denote them with a negative charge, but it is not always clear that it will have negative charge. But this lone pair is definitely it will be having a lone pair. Okay, will be having a lone pair electron, and plus we will have a carbon atom in which there is a halogen, because we are seeing at the reactions of haloalkanes, and this carbon atom is what? sp3. This carbon atom is sp3. Now if this carbon atom is sp3, this will be having a delta negative charge, this will be having a delta positive charge, and as you can see that there will be a flow of electron from electron source to electron sink, electron rich to electron deficient, This is the flow of electron. And as the nucleophile, see the statements that I say, this will be repeated in each class. As the nucleophile approaches the carbon atom is making how many bonds? 5 bonds. So it cannot have 5 bonds. Then what will happen? this X will take this bond pair of electrons and leave, and we will show that as the reaction. It will proceed as how? It will proceed as this nucleophile has been attached to carbon atom. This carbon atom is still having 4 bonds. Now, these 4 bonds, I have not implicated what groups are present. We will see them later, but a general scheme of reaction, if you want to remember nucleophilic substitution reaction, this is the general scheme. Nucleophile approaches a carbon which is attached to halogen. It attacks it because it is having delta positive charge. And as the nucleophile is attacking the carbon atom, making a new bond, the halogen, it leaves, it departs from the carbon atom as X negative, because it is taking a lone pair electrons. Okay. So as you can see, what is happening now, very important points as you can see here. See, this nucleophile is having a negative charge. Can I have someone please say yes, sir, at least?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, fine. So this nucleophile is giving electrons to carbon, and carbon and X bond is being broken. Yes, Maria?
Yes.
Now this carbon is getting a new bond and an older bond is breaking also, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
there is no change, no charge here, because one bond is forming, one bond is breaking. But if you see this nucleophile, nucleophile is having a negative charge. It is having a negative charge. But as it forms a bond, what happens? The charge decreases.
Yes.
Now there is no negative charge. Okay. Now there is no negative charge. Now, if I see at X, there is no charge now. But as soon as this pointed arrow heads towards this X, it gets a negative charge. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now these are the points that you have to remember. Okay, the first thing that you have to remember is that points to be noted is that carbon nucleophile bond is formed. The next point is what? Now, at least this much you have to remember of nucleophilic substitution. At the moment you are told about nucleophilic substitution, you will remember carbon and nucleophile bond is formed, and carbon and X, that is carbon and halogen bond, is broken. Okay, it is broken. But this is the simplest part. Now you can copy this. Then we will get to SN1, SN2. How does this happen, etc. Mariam has, okay. Okay, waiting for one more. Okay, all of them has reached. Okay. Now, Mariam, can you make a particular make a definition for nucleophilic substitution reaction?
I can try.
Try. Yeah. Say.
When a nucleophile is attached with a carbon having sp3 hybridization with a halogen.
sp3 carbon with halogen, okay.
Then the bond between the sp3 carbon and halogen breaks, making the halogen negative.
Okay.
I mean electronegative.
It is already electronegative. It is negative charge. It gains a negative charge. It gains a negative.
Gaining a negative charge. And the nucleophile gets attached with the carbon, making it neutral.
Okay. Fine. Now, can Sanya try?
Me?
Yeah, you, Sanya.
The same, like what she said.
Sorry?
What she said, the same, I will say.
I mean, I am asking you to give it your own words. It cannot be the same things, na?
Yeah,
You can,
it will be
I
like
mean, you can improve it somewhere. You can add something, subtract something, do something at least. Take your time. I mean, if I ask anyone, na, if I, for example, I ask Mariam, so the other two, I mean, Amalya and Sanya, what you should be answering in your own mind. I mean, sir is going to ask, do you have siblings, Sanya?
yes, sir.
So what happens if if one of your parents starts scolding one of your siblings? Don't you get attentive very much? Like next is my turn.
No, yes,
No,
yeah, sometimes.
exactly. I mean the whole. I mean sometimes if my mother starts scolding one of my siblings, my father is also like, now it's time for me or what? Exactly, right? So if I ask any
Yes,
one of the students, Amalia, Sanya, Mariam, all of you, you should also be starting to making answers of your own. Okay, not tell me, Sanya, some things, at least something.
when and sir, this NU is halogen, right?
What did you say? Do you
This
understand?
NU,
And you is nucleophile.
okay. When nucleophile
Nucleophile,
is added to sp3 bound,
sp3 bond. Okay. Okay, fine. Let us ask Amalya. Amalya, can you try?
Sir, I'm not sure.
I will give you the exact definition that you will write in your notebook, but I want you to try to at least. You have a reaction and you have to just convert it into words. Tell me. Okay. Now, listen. What I'm doing here is I am giving out the definition. There's some word that will be used usually in chemistry. Okay, that will be used usually in chemistry, and those are English language words. But now you will come to know what I can say, the chemistry vocabulary. Define my internet is not stable. Just wait a second. Why did that happen? Yeah. Okay, fine. So in this what is happening? A nucleophile, is reacting with haloalkane. Okay, a nucleophile is reacting with haloalkane, which is having a positive which is bonded to halogen. Okay, fine. That is the first point that I will make. If I want to write the definition, in the definition, what I will say, the first thing that I see is a nucleophile. It is attacking a haloalkane. In this is having charge on
Sir, your voice is
it is
cracking.
bonded to halogen. Okay, is it still cracking?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
No, it is cracking. Me read out. How is it now? Difference?
No, sir.
It is still cracking.
Now it's okay.
Now it's okay.
Okay, fine. I'm reading a sentence. Just tell me if it is fine. Orthogonal protection is a strategy allowing protection
No, no,
in a multi protected. It is fine.
no, sir.
No, sir. It's checking.
It is cracking.
Yeah, in the end line.
I mean, I I can understand why it is happening because it has been raining since past 1 day because we have got a cyclone. That
Yeah.
is my neighborhood. This is Yas, a cyclone which is near Odisha and Jharkhand. Odisha, Jharkhand has like Odisha, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Okay, how, I mean, is it any good? I mean, are you able to understand my words or no? It is
Yes,
very
Yes,
bad.
yes, now it's very good.
Now it's very good. Okay, fine. So there was some kind of fluctuation on. Okay. So what I was saying is the nucleophile is attacking, the nucleophile is reacting with halogen. Halo. Nucleophile reacts with haloalkane. In this type of reaction, what I would say reacts with haloalkane. Reacts with haloalkane. Reacts with haloalkane. Now this haloalkane having a reacts with haloalkane having a partial positive charge. Partial positive charge on the carbon atom, or if you want to write, this is also very good. You can either write on sp3 carbon atom bonded to halogen. Okay, it is bonded to halogen. Now this is the first step that is happening. This is the first arrow that I have reported. Okay, now this is the arrow now that I have defined. Nucleophile is reacting. Now this is the second arrow that I have to define. And now what happens next? The next thing that happens is halogen substitution takes place. Substitution takes place. Substitution takes place, and the halogen atom departs as halide ion. Departs as halide ion. Okay, got this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, as you can see, now I'm erasing your definition. Now you know how to define. So first, what you will do, the first arrow that is happening now, that is nucleophile, you define the first arrow. Then after that, as now this the important word here is what? The important word here is depart. I guess this is not a new word, but new word in the term of chemical terminology that you are going to use. Okay. Now you will always use depart for leaving groups. Okay. For leaving group. What is leaving group? This X is leaving. So hence it is about a leaving group. This is a nucleophile. This is your haloalkane. And this X negative is what? Leaving group. Okay, this X negative is what? It is leaving group. Okay. Now the next term is next thing is what? As the reaction is initiated by a nucleophile, and substitution takes place. It is called nucleophilic substitution. Nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay. Now add these 2 points, the definition and why it is called as nucleophilic substitution reaction. Can you hear the rain noise also?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No? Wait a
No.
second. Let me see. Okay. What about now?
No, sir.
No, okay, it is very faint, I guess. Yeah, it is very faint. Just raise your hand if you are done noting this down, the definition and why it is called nucleophilic substitution reaction. Keep waiting for Sania. Okay, Sania is also done. Okay. And let me share a new slide. Okay, as you know, like in the last class, I told you that since this mechanism it can have an analogy of you sitting in a chair, a new person coming and sitting on a chair, the substitution is taking place. A similar kind of analogy, and I got a photo in internet, and let me share that particular thing. Okay, is this visible?
Yes, sir. I saw.
Actually, you saw this?
Yeah.
You saw this. Okay, fine. Now, for those who have not seen this, what is happening here? The first case, let me mark them nucleophiles and different things. Okay, this is this yellow cat here. It is our nucleophile, and this X. This is what? This is X negative. Fine. So in the first case, what is happening? The first case, what is happening? This nucleophile is just waiting. It is just waiting. Okay, and this is carbon atom. Let me draw it some different color. This is carbon atom. It is having another 4 groups. Now the first in these two, what is happening? The first step is what? The first step is departure of the first step. In this step, what is happening? Departure of X negative, correct?
Yes, sir.
First of all, and now this is the end product. Now in this case, what is happening? In this case, the first step is what? The first step is this nucleophile is attacking on the X negative, and then X negative is what? Then X negative is leaving. As you can see, here it is, X negative is leaving.
Yes.
The end result in both of them are same only, but the process is different in both the cases. Okay, the process is different in both the cases. Now we will look at both of the cases individually. We will look at both of the cases individually. Let me go back to my whiteboard. Okay, and slowly we will start to learn and also learn about those nomenclature that we have. I mean, the naming that we have now, SN1, SN2, why it is happening, SN1 and SN2 only. And each and every point in this slide only. Okay, so first thing that is happening, the first case is what? In the first case, we have leaving group departs, that is X negative, departs in the first step. Or I can say what? I can say that's the CX bond is broken. I can say the CX bond is broken. CX bond is broken. Now let us see, first of all, as we are just concerned about the CX bond, I am not writing the nucleophile. So step one is what? The step one is we have a carbon which will be having 4 neighboring atoms, and hence it is what? sp3 hybridized carbon atoms. And in this we have one X, that is a halogen atom. In this step, what is happening? Nothing but the X negative is easily, it is just breaking. And now you tell me. Now you tell me. From the previous example, from the previous slide that we had, this nucleophile to get, you see, nucleophile is what? It is giving electrons. Nucleophile is giving electrons, and this X negative is taking electrons. So if X negative is taking electrons, what will happen? It will form X negative, right? This X is taking electrons, so it will form X negative, and this carbon will be forming positive, correct? This carbon will gain a positive charge. Why is the carbon gaining a positive charge? Since initially it had how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. There are how many electrons? 8 electrons. Now it is having only 6 electrons. So it has lost 2 electrons, and hence it has gained a positive charge, correct? X negative
Yes, sir.
has gained 2 lone pairs. That is why it is X negative. Okay. Now this is this step one. This, what do we have formed here? What is this called? A carbon having a positive charge. Sanya. A carbon with a positive charge. What is it called? Reactive intermediates. Intermediate, we have 3. Okay, Mariam.
Carbon anion or something.
Positive charge is cation, no? So it is carb cation.
Sorry.
Carbo cation. So this step one, it is known as formation of carbocation. Okay, this formation of carbocation. Step two. Now, step two, what will happen? This is our yellow cat, and this is nucleophile in our case. It will attack on what? It will attack on now carbocation. It will attack on now what? Carbocation. Why? Why carbocation? As now you can see, I have written carbocation, and I have written carbocation in a triangular kind of thing. Why? Because it is now sp2, because it is bonded. It has only 3 bonds, and if 3 bonds and it is bonded to 3 atoms, it will have sp2 hybridization. Okay. Now this is what? sp3. This is sp2. Now this is having a positive charge. It is also having a positive charge, and what will happen? This nucleophile will attack on this carbon atom, and we will get, and what we will get? We will get a nucleophile that is attached to carbon atom like this. Nucleophile, it is attached to carbon atom, and there is now 4. And this is again sp3. Now plus we will have, now this X negative is X negative. There is no need to write it again. Okay. Here we have X negative, that is formation of carbocation. The second step is what? Nucleophile is attacking on the carbocation, hence it is attack of nucleophile. Okay. Let me write this sp2 in bracket after carbocation like this. Let me also remove the carbocation. Carbocation, in bracket we have sp2, and it is nucleophile. Now in this, the next one that we have here is attack of nucleophile and departure of X, that is halogen, departure of halogen, or rather I should say, and not departure, I will write it as breaking of CX bond takes place simultaneously. takes place simultaneously. Okay, so if this is taking place simultaneously, that means it is only one step mechanism. Okay, so step 1, and you will reach the product. We have carbon is bonded to X. Oh, wait a second. First I will write the nucleophile. After that I will write the carbon atom. Okay, so we have nucleophile. It is having a lone pair electron and a negative charge. In general, it can or cannot have negative charge, but it should have lone pair electrons. Plus we will have carbon. This is what sp3 hybridized, and this is having a negative charge, halogen atom. Delta negative, delta positive. This nucleophile is attacking on this carbon atom. And then what is happening? And then as soon as this nucleophile attacks carbon atom, this halogen atom takes the bonded carbon CX bond electrons, and I will get nucleophile in which we have carbon, and then I will get a X negative. As you can see, this is a one-step mechanism and it is gone over. Okay, now I will ask you one question for the first case and for the second case also. No, I mean for the second case it is not very much useful, but for the first case it is useful. Now this step 1, step 2. What do you think, Mariam? Does this step 1 and step 2, does it happen like all of the sp3 carbon atoms, that is the all of the haloalkanes are just, I mean one of the haloalkanes, it formed carbocation, broke the CX bond, it formed carbocation. Now the carbocation is sitting. It is waiting for another million haloalkane molecules to give the carbocation atom, and then it will attack, and then it will be reacting with nucleophile. Does this happen, or simultaneously both these steps are happening? What do you think? Will the carbocation be sitting? अभी देख लेते हैं, बाकी लोग भी अपना बॉन्ड तोड़ दें, उसके बाद हम रिएक्ट करते हैं न्यूक्लियोफाइल से. फॉर अमल्या it is just like saying a carbocation is waiting, and it is waiting for other haloalkanes for the CX bond to break, and when all the haloalkanes would have broken their CX bond, they will now all attack the nucleophile. They will be all attacked by the nucleophile. Do you think things happens like this, Mariam?
No, sir, it happens simultaneously.
Simultaneously, no? Okay, fine. So if it is happening simultaneously, now I want you to remember the analogy of it is, for example, can I say that these are, I will say these are wet clothes, okay, that have been just washed and they have been put to drying. Okay, just keep this analogy. They have been put to drying for drying. Now, when they are put to drying, if I ask what will be the total time taken for drying, you will not say, okay, fine, the shirt dries in 10 minutes, the jeans dries in 20 minutes, and that dries in 30 minutes. So I will add them all up. I mean 10, 20, that is 30, and the jeans is also 30. So total it will take 1 hour. Does things happen like this if you put them on drying simultaneously? You didn't understand.
It will dry on its own, but like we'll say it like that. Yeah.
No, wait a second. You have a shirt, you have a t-shirt, and you have a jeans. Okay, the shirt dries in 20 minutes, the t-shirt dries in 10 minutes, the jeans dries in 30 minutes. Now this is one of the questions. Total time taken for drying. How much time will it take for drying?
60 minutes.
60 minutes.
Yes.
And then will the jeans be waiting for t-shirt and shirt to dry? I mean, they will dry in 30 minutes, all of them now. You put them for drying simultaneously.
Okay, yeah.
Now you got it? Mariam got it. Sania and Amalia, did you get it? How it will dry in 30 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Now one thing is important. Now, Sania, did you understand? I didn't get any answer from Sania. Sania there? She is not there. I mean, I don't view the participants box. Okay, fine. Shirt, t-shirts. Okay, so one thing that the crux point is that we have to look at the slowest drying object. We have to look at the slowest drying object. Okay. Now, in our case, if I want to ask how long the reaction will take, I have to see what the slowest step, right? The slowest step.
Yes.
Right? Okay, fine. Now you tell me step 1, step 2. Which one will be slowest, Mariam?
Step 1.
Why? Because we have done the assignment of lesson 1.
No. It has to break the bond.
has to break the bond. Okay, so why?
Is it correct?
I'm asking why it has to break the bond. Is, I mean, you are just stating the facts which is happening, and why is breaking a bond long process? Amalia, you can add
Because
anything. I mean, you can just mute yourself and add any point whenever you want.
it was stable and now it's unstable.
Okay, fine. I mean, very good. Very good. This is sp3 is neutral. Now this carbocation is unstable. So anything which is going from stable to unstable, it is obviously, it is what? It is a endothermic. I mean, it will require some energy, and if it is requiring some, it will not be simultaneous. It will not happen just. And this particular step 2, it is positive and negative. It is what it is. It will happen spontaneously because it is having what? Attractive interaction. This is having repulsive interaction. It has to break and it has to, if I compare them, one has to break and one has to form a bond. So forming a bond is easy. Positive, negative charge, they will attract each other. No such driving force is involved when we are breaking the CX bond. Okay. So here what I will say, here I will say that rate determining step. Rate is what? Rate is just speed of reaction. Okay. Speed of reaction. I guess in chemical kinetics you have seen this word, that is rate. So rate of reaction is directly proportional to the slowest step. If slowest step takes much time, okay, now I will write this. It is directly proportional. Not I will write is dependent on slowest step directly or indirectly. I mean, it depends. The rate of reaction is dependent on the slowest step. Okay, and this slowest step is what? In this reaction, the slowest step is, in this reaction, the slowest formation of carbocation. Formation of carbocation is slowest step. Okay, so in chemical kinetics, we write rate is equal to C. If we have a large number of, if we have what? As the concentration of any species increases, the rate also increases. Okay, if concentration of any species increases, the rate also increases, and it is directly proportional to the slowest step. And or we can write also the substrate or the reactant of the slowest steps. So I will write here what? Haloalkane, and the concentration of haloalkane, and then I will put a K here, and this is nothing but this is a proportionality constant, or we say it as rate constant. As you can, you have to just remember what? Rate is equal to K into haloalkane. Why? As you can see in step 1, what is happening? Only haloalkane is involved. Only haloalkane is involved. Now in the next case, we don't have any such step 1 or step 2. So I will directly write rate is equal to K and nucleophile is dependent on nucleophile and also on the concentration of haloalkane. I mean, I hope you can derive the analogy because we have not studied chemical kinetics now. When you will study chemical kinetics, then you will understand in detail, in insight, you will gain an insight why rate is equal to rate constant into haloalkane. You can remember rate is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant of slowest step. Okay, so in the first case, we have a step 1, step 2. That is why I am writing K into haloalkane. In in the another category, we have only step 1. That is why I am writing rate is equal to K into nucleophile into haloalkane. Okay, now from this, the name comes. From this, the name comes. So the name of this one is equal. Name of this one is, it is what? It is bimolecular. As you can see, there are 2 molecules which are involved in the rate equation. So I will write bimolecular. Bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay, now Mariam, can you give the name for the first category?
Is it SN1?
I'm asking the name. You are giving me the
Oh,
instead of bimolecular. What it will be there? What will be there instead of bimolecular?
mm, dimolecular.
Not dimolecular. Can you give me another word for di? I mean, this is having two molecules. That is why it is bimolecular. It is having how many molecules in the rate equation?
In the rate equation 2.
No, there is only
Oh,
okay, fine.
sorry, sir.
One
Monomolecular.
monomolecular. Another word for mono. Another,
Molecular.
huh?
Just molecular.
Just molecule. No, another word.
Ah,
Amalia, add in please. Amalia, can you add in anything? Another word? No. Unimolecular. Okay. I mean, you have done the assignment. You have written everything. You don't remember, Mariam?
yes, because I did not write full on my own.
Okay. Still, you copied. Fine. So I will write the name as here. What? Name is unimolecular.
Unimolecular.
Unimolecular. Nucleophilic substitution. Now I can write this. Now see the names start like this. That is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution. But we denoted as. Now we have to go the opposite way. The first word is substitution. So we'll write. The last word is substitution. So I will write S. Then the next one is what? The next one is nucleophilic. So it is written in subscript. Then we write it bimolecular for bimolecular we write it 2. The denotation for this one will be SN1. Okay. Now I hope you have not written all of these things. Now you will write the name of the name of this, that is unimolecular nucleophilic substitution, also known as what? SN1. And there is another one, that is bimolecular nucleophilic bimolecular nucleophilic. Okay, I must have put nucleophilic substitution, aka SN2. Now you can copy this and copy it very, with full concentration. This is just the crux. This is just the starting of nucleophilic substitution reaction. That we have now just stated how it can have SN1 and SN2 do different types. Now, first we will look at SN2 reactions and we will see what are different. What are the things that come in factor of SN2 reactions. Okay, and how is the rate different with different kind of substrate and with different kind of nucleophile and with different kind of the leaving group also. Okay, now copy this. Let me know when you're done. And any idea about Fatima? I just forgot about Fatima. Yes, Mariam.
I was thinking somebody is missing. Now I remember.
Now you remember. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. She may not have seen the.
Maybe no electricity in India.
There is no electricity in India.
Maybe.
Let me
It's
check.
raining, no?
It is not all of the India is raining. India is a big country. We also don't have electricity, but inverter is working. So we can I can take class, but let us see. I don't know if Kerala is also affected. She's in Kerala, huh? Let me see if Kerala is also affected. Kerala is not affected. Mhm. Okay, Amalia is done. Okay, Mariam is also done. Do you know there is a website where you can see live clouds?
What's the name?
Okay, let me show you. Can you see this? Amalia, really sorry for getting India all of the time. Can you see this now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you can see now. Okay, let me hover my, wait a second, spotlight. You see this region?
Yeah.
There is so much cloud. This is where I live. Okay, fine. Let me share my whiteboard again. Both of you are done writing them. Fine. First of all, we will look at the SN2, that is nuclear substitution, that is nucleophilic substitution, bimolecular nucleophilic substitution, bimolecular nucleophilic substitution. That is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution. Bimolecular nucleophilic substitution, and it is also known as what? It is also known as what, Amalia? How it is denoted?
SN2.
Yes, very good. SN2. Okay, this is denoted as SN2. So what happens in this? Step 1, step 2, one. In one step, all the things are happening.
The question is for Amalia.
Yes, this question is for Amalia.
It happens in step 1.
Only one step. It happens in one step. Okay, fine. Now animation time. I have, yes, I have. I guess I have one animation for SN1, SN2. Yes, SN2. Wait a second. Let me share the. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is substitution reaction. Sanya is joining now. Okay, fine. So you know what is just involving a nucleophile with two species involved in the slowest step. Okay, we are first looking at the slowest step which is involved. Okay. Okay, fine. So as you can see here, welcome once again, Sanya. You missed a bit.
Sorry, sir, my phone got hanged. That's why.
Okay, fine. It's no problem. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the screen, you have a nucleophile and then you have a electron pair. A nucleophile is what? They have defined it. A nucleophile is what? Electron pair donor. As you can see, it has lone pair electrons and also a negative charge. Okay. Now in this particular example, they are showing what they are showing. This is whenever you see a red atom, no, red circle, it is always oxygen. Whenever you see this, wait a second. Let me just write them down for now. This is oxygen and this is hydrogen. So all these white ones are hydrogen. Okay, this white one is hydrogen. Okay. Now, Mariam, can you guess what are these gray ones?
Gray ones.
This one. These two.
Carbon.
These are carbons. Okay, and can Sanya, can you guess what is this yellowish kind of? What is this compound?
BR.
The answer is this is Br. Very good. This is Br. As you can see, everything is mentioned: delta negative,
Yes,
delta
sir.
positive, and a nucleophile. Correct? Okay.
Yes.
Let me just
Yes,
now
sir.
play it. Okay. Let me remove the annotation, clear all the drawings, and then. Okay, wait a second. Annotate. Yeah. Now I can play it. it is attracted towards the species with a positive charge. And so if it is attracted, it will go towards that. So as they have said, it is hydroxide ion. That is, hydroxide ion is what? OH negative. Both reactions. Now slowly it is reaching towards what? That carbon atom which is having a positive delta positive charge. Now as it is C. Now can you see the bond is breaking and bond is forming also, correct? Okay, can you see or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You can see, okay. So the first thing that is happening is the hydroxide ion, okay, and see, first thing is the bromine atom is so large that it impedes the approach of smaller hydroxide ion, okay. So it is very large, so that is why it is not approaching from this direction, it is approaching from behind. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is known as backside attack. Okay, this is known as what? Backside attack. Okay, it is attacking through the backside. Now it is forming a bond. Okay, now now you see this structure.
Yes, sir.
This is the state. Okay, this is a transition state. As you can see, what is happening now? This particular okay. Did my voice crack?
Yeah, sir. In between. Now it's okay.
In between, okay. Now it is fine. So what is here? You can see that this particular species, not this carbon species here, it is having only 3 bonds. The one bond with carbon atom, one bond with this hydrogen, and the other CH bond is that side. As you can see, this one now. This is one hydrogen, this is one hydrogen. Okay. So now it is having only 3 bonds. Initially it had 4 bonds. So if it is having a 3 bond, that means what the energy should be? The energy will be higher because it has lost one of the bonds and it has gained some kind of charge. It has gained some kind of charge. That is why you can see in this particular reaction coordinate what is happening. As the reactants approach each other, as the reaction approaches, this transition state is made, and when the transition state is made, the energy is highest. Now let us play again. Now you can see easily now the whole transition state complex, the structure of it, and if you can see it properly, you can this BR is leaving, and
Your voice is cracked.
Yes, sir.
you can just see enjoy it. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us play with the sound. Okay, wait a second.
Primary halogenoalkanes undergo SN2.
Just checking, can you hear the voice also?
Yes, sir. We can hear. Yes, sir.
reactions, where the S denotes a substitution reaction. The N shows the reaction involves a nucleophile. 2 is the number of species involved in the slowest rate-determining step. A nucleophile is an electron pair donor. It is attracted towards species carrying the full or partial positive charge, with which it can form a dative covalent bond. Consider the reaction between a hydroxide ion in solution and bromoethane. Both reactants are involved in determining the rate of the reaction in a one-step process. The hydroxide ion attacks the carbon atom from the opposite side to the halogen atom, because the bromine atom A is so large it impedes the approach of the smaller hydroxide ion, and B, it repels the negative charge nucleophile. The lone electron pair on the nucleophile forms a new dative covalent bond with the partially charged carbon atom to give an unstable transition state complex. The complex behaves like an umbrella blowing inside out as the bonds rearrange into a tetrahedral structure. A bromide ion, called the leaving group, is released. The transition state complex.
Okay, so congrats to University of Surrey. Fine. Let me share my screen. It was a cool animation, right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it is available on YouTube only. I didn't have to fetch very much, but still. Now you understand how this complete process is taking place. Okay, so I will just write that down. How is this happening? And with an example also. Okay, with an example. The example that we are taking here is the nucleophile that we are taking here is OH negative. Okay, and this OH negative, it will be having, since OH is negative, this will be having how many? 3 lone pair electrons. Okay, this will be having 3 lone pair electrons. Plus, I will write what? I will write an H atom, carbon, hydrogen, and then also one more hydrogen. And there is this Cl molecule. Okay, there is this Cl molecule. This is delta negative, this is delta positive. And what will happen? This negative charge will attack on this carbon atom. Then this chlorine will depart, and we will get, and then we will get what? And then we will get OH. Now this will be having only 2 lone pair electrons bonded to carbon atom, hydrogen, hydrogen, and hydrogen. Okay, these are 3 hydrogen. Now this is also, as you can see, what is happening here. The first thing that you can see which is happening here is this attack of OH negative. So what I call is here is the big barrier in this particular reaction. As you can see, this OH negative, it did not attack from the chlorine side. I mean, it adjusted it in such a way, it adjusted itself in such a way that chlorine atom is just away from the attack side, right? It is away from the attack side. The attack side is happening just on the opposite direction, and this is known as what? This is known as backside attack. It is known as what? Backside attack. Now, can we have a definition? But we have to involve here what? These terms, na? Bimolecular. That means we have to in that particular definition we have to have backside attack, and we have to have these 2 substrates which are involved in the slowest step. Okay, so take a few moments, try to derive a definition. If somebody, okay, fine, I know nobody will volunteer for the answer, so I'm just giving you 10 to 15 seconds. Think about the definition, and then I will ask you. Okay, Mariam, you go first.
Sir, what should I say?
What?
I
You
see.
have to define SN2.
Okay.
Okay, fine. I'm giving you a few words. Attack of hydroxide, है ना? And or I can say formation of a new carbon nucleophile bond. Okay, and then you can have breaking of carbon halogen bond. Then simultaneously, correct? And when it is happening simultaneously, then only it is SN2, right?
Yes.
You can also attack, if you are having attack a word, then you can add backside attack also.
The breaking of halogen bond and
No. First thing which is happening, the first thing which is happening is, okay, fine, let me give the answer. The backside attack of nucleophile. The backside attack of nucleophile on alkyl halide leading to breaking, or I can also say cleavage of carbon halogen bond simultaneously. Okay, this is what now? This is SN2. This is SN2 reaction. Okay, simultaneously, and I can also write in a single step. Any other thing that I can add here? Another thing that I can add here is via a transition state. And no intermediate, okay. Now I have to make the transition state here. Okay, so I'm moving this a bit here, and I'm also moving this a bit here. Now those of you now who start writing before I have completed this slide and given you time, they will have a bit of problem. I hope you don't start writing when I'm explaining. So how will the transition state look? The transition state will look something like this. This carbon is here, and it is having all these CH bond intact. These hydrogen bonds are intact. Now I will write this red as this bond is being broken, and then I will write this as green, which is denoting a bond formation of OH. Okay, and here we have also hydrogen. This will be having a delta positive, this will be having delta negative, and this will be having delta negative. Oh, sorry, delta positive, I have written delta negative. Okay, now we have all the things, and for transition state, we have to give what? We have to give a square bracket like this. The transition state is denoted as this one. And if I want to check the geometry of transition state, then the geometry of transition state is what? As you can see, there are 5, I can say 5 bonds. So I will say this is, I hope you remember this geometry. Okay, so this is one pyramid, and then below you have another pyramid, and this is what? Trigonal.
Pyramidal.
Bipyramidal, no?
Bipyramidal.
Yeah.
Bipyramidal. Bipyramidal. And it is also known as, in short, PBP. Okay, in short, what? PBP. So this is our nucleophile. This is our haloalkane. Now, backside attack of nucleophile on alkyl halide leading to breaking and cleavage of what? We have reached till trigonal bipyramidal, okay? And we have not reached till products via transition state and no intermediate leading to formation of an inverted product. And halide ion. Now, what does inverted product mean? Inverted product means that, as you can see the orientation now, Now this carbon had hydrogens facing towards its left. Now when the reaction has taken place, as you can see, the hydrogen are now situated where in the right. So though when they were present in the left, now they are on the right side. So they have been inverted. They have been what? They have been inverted. We will expand on what is inversion, but after we have completed SN1 and SN2, both of them. Okay. For now, you can understand the hydrogens that you are seeing here has been inverted. Okay. They have been inverted. You can write this slide down. Okay, everyone is done. Just wait a second. Looking for one of the. Okay, I have to ask you one question. Okay, I have to ask you one question. Now I have nucleophile and it is going to attack. Okay, but I have, since here we have taken only CH3Cl. Now I'm taking different kind of haloalkane, that is primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay, so initially we have only carbon, says hydrogen, hydrogen, and hydrogen, and then we have Cl. Okay, and in the next example we have carbon, and this carbon is bonded to one CH3. This is bonded to hydrogen. It's bonded to hydrogen, and this is bonded to chlorine. In the next example we have, that is carbon, which is bonded to one CH3, another CH3, and one hydrogen, and Cl. At the last we have CH3, it is bonded to carbon, it is bonded to CH3, it is bonded to CH3, it is bonded to chlorine. And now in all of them, the nucleophile is going to attack. All of them, the nucleophile is going to attack. Okay, and I want you to think about where will be the attack most easy. The easiest attack. How can the nucleophile, where can the nucleophile, this is one example, nucleophile. Yes, Sanya was telling something. In A, B, C, or D? Where will be the attack most easy?
In the ortho position.
Huh? In A, B, C, D, which one?
I think A.
You think A? What about, okay, fine. What I mean, first, the next thing is, how are you processing this? Why are you saying A?
Like ortho, meta, para.
Ortho, meta, para.
Yeah.
Ortho, meta, para. Why ortho, meta, para? Can you see benzene?
No, like just I don't know how to explain.
Arre? How can you say even ortho, meta, para? This is
I'm
not
saying
ortho, meta, para.
like.
Like? What like? There is no ortho, meta, para here, my dear. There is no ortho, meta, para. Okay, just imagine yourself, okay? Just imagine yourself. What is the difference here? Whenever I tell you, whenever there is ranking, you have to see at what the difference is. Correct? Mariam?
Yes, yes.
So what is different between A, B, C, D? What is the difference? What is happening? What is the change? What is the change, Array? Hydrogen is replaced by CH3.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the difference between hydrogen and CH3?
Another carbon-carbon bond.
Another carbon-carbon bond. But in terms of attacking, now you look at this. You look at it in this way. This, you are nucleophile here, okay? You are nucleophile, and this is the chair.
Okay.
Okay, this is the chair that you want to attack. Fine. And these all are what? These all are chairs that you want to attack, and you have to sit there. Now, what do you think? Which one will be easiest? Now, if this is one chair, and then you have hydrogens here, and this is CH3. So this hydrogen, just you can imagine as this is a small child, right? This is because this is small. Now, this CH3 will be bigger or smaller than hydrogen?
Bigger.
It will be
Bigger. So now tell terms in terms of attacking. In terms of attacking, where will
B.
it be easiest?
B.
Huh?
B.
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 D.
B.
I mean, can you not see that crowding is increasing? If the crowding is increasing, you can't even see the chair. Right,
D.
Mariam?
Sir, it is in D.
D, how D? Why D?
Then C.
Okay. I am not.
B.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Remember, okay, fine. Now these are child, these CS3 are big persons. Okay. Now just imagine that these CS3, these are protecting this chair, right? Because if there is something bulky which is present, then you cannot attack it easily, na? You need some space to attack the carbon atom. Why it does not approach from this side? Because this chlorine atom was bigger in size. Don't you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you have to avoid everything which is bigger in size. If you have to avoid everything which is bigger in size, then you have to approach from the smallest size, which is the smallest here. The H1s are smallest, so this will be the ease of attack. I will say ease of attack, order of ease of attack. Order of ease of attack. Okay, so the fastest will be what? If I want to tell the rate of reaction, rate of SN2, then I will say this is methyl. So I will say methyl halide. Methyl halide will be having the fastest rate. After that, it will be followed by primary halide, which is this one. I mean, this is not CS3. It can be any R group. Okay, CS3, CS2, CS2, CS3. Anything can be there. Okay, this will be primary halide. After that, secondary halide. And the last one is what? Tertiary halide.
Sir,
Okay.
which one was the answer?
What?
Which one was this like the easiest?
A, na? A was the easiest because we had hydrogen only. Hydrogen is the least bulkier. Okay, it is the least bulkier. Now, all of them, it comes from the fact that it comes from a concept which I call as what? I call it as the barrier of reaction. Barrier of SN2. What is the barrier of SN2 or the obstacle? Obstacle of SN2. The obstacle for SN2 is what? The steric hindrance. Okay, a steric hindrance, or I should say crowding. Steric hindrance. Or steric, or it is what? It is steric crowding around the alpha carbon. Okay, which is the alpha carbon? The carbon which is directly bonded to halogen, that is directly bonded to functional group. What is the functional group? Chlorine here, or halogen in general. That is why what I will say is steric hindrance. This is the barrier, and if the barrier has been jumped over, if the obstacle has been removed, then that will be very easy. So if the obstacle is, where is the obstacle highest? The highest obstacle is at the D position, that is tertiary halide. As you can see, the steric hindrance, it starts to increase, and also remember one more point, that whenever you see this CH3, now don't see the CH3 as just CH3. The CH3 is like this. On that note, let me show you the real picture here. Can you see this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as you can see here, in the first case, this nucleophile is attacking. Can you see this particular surrounding? We have.
Yes, sir.
You can see that. Okay, fine. So these are all, as you can see, this is easiest to approach. And now see, the sterics have been increased. And as we CH3, CH2, Br, then after that, if we have two CH3s, one CH3 here, one CH3 here. Now again, the crowding has increased more. Now, if we have three CH3s, the crowding has increased more and more. And hence, this never happens. This never happens. Okay, this never happens. And this is the fastest. This always happens. If you have CH3Br, there will be always SN2. There will be always SN2. Okay, let me go back to my whiteboard. You have written this, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Write this, and then we are done. Write this, then we are done. Okay. Now I want you to answer one more thing, Mariam. You can answer me. What do you think in SN2? Should we have strong nucleophile or weak nucleophile? Now imagine this. What is this process? In this particular phenomena, in SN2, what is happening? You are the nucleophile and you are pushing the person who is sitting in the chair, right? Because that person is not leaving. As you can see, the attack and the departure is happening when after the attack, the departures are happening. So what do you think? We should have strong nucleophile or weak nucleophile?
After seeing the cat cartoon, I think it should be strong.
It should be strong, na? Yeah, it is correct. We should have strong nucleophile here, right? I mean, only strong nucleophile
Yes,
can give you SN2 reactions. This is the, and remember always the barrier of SN2. Okay, and after the barrier, you can explain each and everything. Till now, we have finished just SN2. Okay. Now I will give you. I mean, there will be so much things, and each and every bit that you can explain of SN1 and SN2 that you can write even for 10 marks. If there comes a short note on SN1, SN2, I mean, you can just disassemble each and every portion. Like first, you will start with nucleophilic substitution reaction. You will give the general idea. After that, you will say, now this process can happen in two ways. First, step 1, step 2, or it can all can happen in only one step, right? And after that, you give the name. You don't remember by SN1 and SN2. Rather, you are giving the name SN1 and SN2 based on that particular type, like whether step 1 happens or step 1 and step 2, 2-step or 1-step process. Okay, 2-step process or 1-step process. If it is 2-step process, it is SN1. If it is 1-step process that we are seeing now, it is SN2. Now, in SN2, you can explain backside attack, inversion. Then after that, you explain barrier of SN2. Then the order of SN2 and the ease of attack. Then the similar many, and one next thing that is going to come is the solvent effect. Solvent effect is the main thing that is going to come. Then after that, these particular things, that is barrier. We have seen the rate law for SN1 and SN2, both of them. We have seen the big barrier. We have seen the rate of SN2. Then we have also seen the stereochemistry in a crux, that is inversion is happening, but we will deal with stereochemistry once again after SN1 and SN2 both are completed. Now, one important thing that is remaining for SN2 is solvent effects. Okay, done with this one.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Okay,
Yeah.
sir,
thank you very much.
Sir, Amalia is saying something.
I have a doubt.
Yes.
Sorry,
I have a doubt.
you have a doubt, Amalia? Okay, yeah, tell me.
What do you mean by steric?
Steric, I mean, by steric, I mean the number of atoms that has been attached to this carbon atom. Okay, it has been attached to carbon atom. For example, I will say steric is nothing but the number of the atoms which are attached to carbon atom, this alpha carbon. Steric means that only. Mariam, do you remember the word steric number? We determined the hybridization and Vesper theory, SN1, steric number 1, steric number 2,
Yeah.
steric number 3. Yeah. So sterics is nothing but the atoms which are attached to the alpha carbon.
Okay.
Okay. Any other thing? Sanya was saying something.
No, sir.
Okay, you are not saying anything. Okay, fine. Any other doubt?
No, sir.
No doubt. Okay.
No.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.